All right, we're recording.
Well, good morning. I want to welcome you to the Okanagan Forest, and I'd like to take this opportunity to invite you into my bug-out long-term survival shelter, or my container cabin, or my long-term survival site away from the city, and just kind of tell you a little bit about it. If you look at some of the other videos on my site, you can certainly see this campsite at a different time of year, but what I've done here is to take a container, a refrigerated 40-foot reefer, and make it into a cabin. And I want to show that to you and talk to you for a few minutes about it. And I would want to also say that I've been up here with a friend for the last 4 days, and the temperature's gone down to, I believe it was 16 Fahrenheit at night. And there's about 1.5 feet of snow, as you can see, on the ground around us. Beautiful sunny day today, but at night it gets really cold. We're also at about 4,000 feet. So with the little stove that you're about to see, we were able to keep ourselves toasty warm and have a very comfortable place in the evening and at night when we were sleeping, and then venture out to go snowshoeing or do things that we wanted to do during the day. So let me go ahead and take you into the cabin now. And before I do that, I'm just going to panorama a little bit of the scenery around the site. And now we'll go ahead and walk into the container cabin, which is here. I've got one door open. In the wintertime we only open one door. And that'll give us some light inside, but the camera's probably going to have to adjust. So here's one of the signs that I have on the entrance of the cabin. And this is a very eclectic affair. It's things I've collected over the years. But now that we're inside, we'll just kind of go around. You can see maps on the wall. And if we look down below, there's wood pile for keeping ourselves warm. And a desk for sitting at, eating at, reading, or anything else like that. And because this is a retreat, I have put together a fairly substantial library that goes, I would say, 25 feet almost on that shelf up above, or at least 20 feet, with the books on a number of fields, and it works pretty well. Now here's the stove that we've been keeping warm by, and it's still going away, and heat water on it and do some cooking. And then our utensils above it. And I'm going to go ahead and pan back around like this so you can look at the door, look outside, and kind of see what's there. We have a propane stove right there by the door. You can kind of see the big oven aluminum box it's in. And one of the innovations, and I don't take credit for it, but I did think of it, that I used in this particular situation is I have a number of these plastic 50-gallon drums. And inside the container, those are for storage, sleeping bags, food, any number of things, and it works really quite well. Now we're walking to the back of the container, and you can see that at the very back we have carpeting on the floor. And we put our pads down on there and have sleeping bags. And if you were up here for a longer period of time, you probably would want to have bunk beds or something a little bit more permanent. And so you can see the books. You can also hear, I suspect, the lantern at the back end going. As we look at the stove from this angle, I had one comment with somebody that said I needed to have a lot of stovepipe going through the container so that it would provide more heat. This stove heats this thing up beautifully, and in 4 days, the insulation on the reefer is so good that in 4 days the snow on top of the roof hasn't even in any way melted. Even though we've been up as high as, I'm going to say, 75, 80 at certain times inside. And of course all the heat rises. So that's a basic look inside, and you could design your container however you like, but that's how I've done things here. Now I'm going to walk back outside while I have recording time and kind of walk around. There's our outhouse. You can see the road up. We didn't snowshoe in very far. We were able to get within, I don't know, 50 yards or something of the container, even though there's a lot of snow. And now you can look out here and see the stovepipe system that was used to get the smoke outside of the container, and also to have a good system without a roof leak. I have a friend that has another one of these, and one of his problems is that the stovepipe goes through the roof, and that's been a real leaking problem. You can see the snow. Now I'm going to just slowly walk around. It's a little rough, so bear with me. Walk around the container. I'm hoping that I don't land on my tush. Now this is really my idea of what would be a long-term bug-out destination, or a cabin, trapper's cabin or a hunting cabin. This is the back reefer unit, nothing fancy there, but you can get a view of what's here and what's around me. That's the mountain across the valley. And then this is what I call the pad, which is the flat spot where I have put in the container. And I want to show you something that's worked very well for us. We have the container up off the ground, and I put ecology blocks at both ends, and that keeps the container several feet up off the ground, and it really seems to work well. But you've got to have a very skilled heavy equipment operator to get it up. But once you get that all done, it really does work well. And I want to also emphasize that in a perfect world, I'd love to have windows along this side of the container. But then it wouldn't be as secure. And as it now sits, I lock it up and it's completely sealed, and I can go away for months at a time and come back, and no mice, no pack rats, no two-legged thieves to bother. This is just another look at the campsite. Right here in the middle of the snow, you see an object. That's two big, heavy truck rims that I put together into a fire ring, and that works really well. We used it to dispose of some things this morning. But that's a great place to have a campfire at other times of year, and it works real nice, and you can maintain it. So that's pretty much. Here I have flagpole. We didn't put the flag out, we put the little flag by the door. I'm going to go ahead and continue to walk around, let you look at the scenery. I see I'm about out of juice, about out of battery time, so you're going to have to be patient with me, and if everything goes black, well, you got a kind of a look. Now there's a look. You can see in the distance the outhouse, the container. That blue tarp is actually a little trailer that I have, and then up the hill beyond it is my Jeep. And you can see the trees in the winter. I'm going to go around here just a little bit farther, and then I'll probably say goodbye. But I hope you've enjoyed this, and send me some comments. I would really appreciate it. Appreciate hearing from you. And I'm hoping also that I've shared some ideas with you, because this is a very inexpensive way to have a very secure place to be in the wilderness or in a remote location. And we are here completely off the grid. There's no cell phones, no electricity, none of that stuff. So again, welcome to Okanagan Forest, and visit me and share your comments.